All right. Hey. Thank you so very much for coming back into the kitchen. Today, Julia Royston is joining me in the kitchen, and we just gonna talk about girl talk. We just gonna talk about stuff, just what's going on with us over 40 and what we're doing, walking in your gift, girl, queen. Walk in your passion and your purpose and, just straighten out your life. So, Julia, welcome to the kitchen.
Thank you. So glad to be in the kitchen. One of my favorite rooms in the house. Yay! Thank you for having me. I'm truly honored, and anytime I get to talk to women or men alike, or children or young people, it doesn't matter, but really to help people move to the next level, to be the best. In my tagline, I say, be all that you can be. And be your best self, not mine, but be your best self. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. So for those that may not be familiar with Julia and her work and what she does, Julia, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do. We've been acquainted for several years now,
Yes.
I know a little bit about you, but may not be as familiar. So please tell us again who you are, what you do, how you help folks.
Well, so again, my name is Julia Royston. I own two publishing companies, BK Royston Publishing and Royal Media and Publishing. And I am the facilitator and organizer and the coordinator of the author community, the Book Business Bosses. So I help people produce products and services for their message, for their ministry, and for their business. So my primary product, of course, is books, ebooks, audiobooks, paperback books, whatever related to books. That's always number one. But we've expanded to other products and services that we help businesses do, as well as marketing and promotional efforts, which, as you know, in every business is always major and key. And with books, that is even more important. So I really help people get their message to the masses and turn their words into wealth, and help them be book business bosses or business bosses, period. So if I can help, reach out.
Excellent. Thank you so very much. So let's go ahead and talk about this thing. So we were talking a little bit earlier, and one of the topics that kind of came up as we were speaking a little bit earlier had to do with gifting, or finding your gift, or using your gift. Talk to me a little bit about that. What's going on?
Well, I have always been a gifted person as a child. I started singing when I was 8 years old, and I kind of sang my first solo at 9. So people who've known me like all of my life, like family members and all that, know me, number one, as a singer. So I've always sung, always been musically inclined, but I learned my gift early. I had two parents who recognized my gift and fed it, just like, you just feed it, they fed it. They made sure that I was at all the music events at my church and school. I played in the marching band. I played in the elementary school band, the middle school band, college band. I was in it because they recognized my gift early. Now, the benefits of that is that, I was able to develop my gift, and because I had other like health issues when I was a child, that was my self-esteem builder. I didn't care nothing about anything else. You give me a microphone, I could sing you under the table. So I had so that whole thing about she got little round glasses and she's a little fat girl, that did not matter, because I just looked at you with an attitude, because I had a strength. I had a gift. I didn't have that whole low self-esteem issue, because my parents had built me up as the greatest whatever, the best this, we're going to be the better this and whatever. So, but I'm finding that after teaching 22 years, being an educator, every child doesn't have that. There's sometimes their parents are living vicariously through them again, and they're into the arts and they're trying to make him an NFL player. I'm like, dude, you can't look at the child and say he doesn't even want to do that. So, realizing that everybody does have a gift. It may not be the same one. It could be the same one. But when you do what you do, that you were called and put on this earth to do, there's nothing like it. I mean, it doesn't matter how many other people can sing. It doesn't matter when you do it, it sets it apart. It doesn't matter how many other people can speak. When you do it, it sets it apart. So I believe that everybody has been given an inward gift. Recognizing that, fueling that, feeding that, developing that, getting the criticism for it so that it can be better will help you on your path. And this is my adage. This is just me. I believe a gifted person will never be broke a day in their life. Now I'm going to say that again. I believe a gifted person walking in their gift and purpose will never be broke a day in your life. Yeah, you may have some low days. You may need, to save some money and maybe take an extra job. But otherwise, if you're really walking in your gift and doing your thing like you should do your thing in excellence, somebody's going to pay you for it. Somebody's going to hire you to do it. If not, you're going to establish your own business to do it. So being gifted, recognizing what that gift is. And I find people all the time who just say, oh, that's just something I do. Do you charge for it? Well, no. Do you realize you're leaving money on the table? Well, no, I didn't think about that. You didn't think about it. Because a lot of people have gifts, natural abilities that they do. And so I've written a kind of a gifted series. I wrote with my own two hands for little boys. And then Jackie's Gift, which is a children's book, kind of a tribute to myself as a young singer. It's a little girl who can sing, and her family says, yeah, you sang good. You should be in the school talent show. And then I've written a teen version of my adult version, The Gifted. So I'm really trying to cover all avenues, whether you're a child, whether you're a teenager, whether you're an adult, to really look at that being gifted, what you have, what those natural gifts that you have. So really, especially teenagers, because there's such an attack on the whole suicide thing and the whole homelessness thing, and I don't compare to that one, and even young adults and even adults, they're comparing you to me and all that, and they don't know they got $1 million under their arm and in their head and on their body and all of that, and they have the ability to do that. So that's really kind of, everybody needs to really think about, you're gifted. You're gifted for a purpose. You're gifted for a reason. And sometimes your gift is to attract to the next thing. It's, sometimes you're gifted in sports, but really your purpose is to lead kids to greatness, to teach or whatever. I used to get in trouble. I realized my main thing now is speaking and teaching, and but talking and using my mouth. I had a speech impediment when I was a child, so I had to have speech therapy. Yeah, you don't recognize it now, but as a child, I had a horrible speech impediment, and my parents took me to. I told you I had a whole lot of health things going on, and so we went to the speech pathologist and all that, and so I have coping strategies for that, but I realized that was a huge part of my purpose, my living. I would hate to have that speech impediment to speak and to sing and to teach and have that struggle. So it's sometimes that leads you, and I used to get in trouble in school because I talked too much, and it didn't matter where she moved me in the room. I was always say, hey, how y'all doing? Like, hey, who y'all? Okay, so I'm on the other side of the room. Ooh, new people to meet, new people to talk to, and they were like, Julia, she gets good grades when she talks too much. But of course, that was key to my purpose.
Right. So in saying that, how would you address, or what do you say to our other sisters that may be of a certain age? I'm speaking of our sisters over 40 that either maybe don't know what their gift is, or feel like because they are of a certain age that, their gift has passed them by, or it's too late for them to walk in their gift or to find their gift. What would you say?
As long as you breathing.
Okay.
As long as you breathing. Now that leads me we'll kind of do out of order. We'll get the Queen Fix Your Crown, but it leads me to another book. Of course, I'm always writing. Plan B. Being a teacher and the educational system has really jacked a lot of people up as far as concerned, and they realize they've been misenfranchised, and they're like, this is not really what I was supposed to be doing. I need to go back to my plan B. And I know life happens, and you make those decisions on short-term decisions that are not necessarily frivolous. They're important. Somebody dies, a parent gets sick, you got a sick child, you got a sick spouse, something happens, and you just got to say, okay, that dream thing over there, I got to put that on the side. That's a real place. And I don't criticize anyone, no one, because I've had to do some similar shifts and changes in your life. But I believe that thing is not dead. As long as you're alive, that gift is not dead. And I think sometimes it's the timing of it. You may be interrupted. It may be delayed, as we often say, but it's not denied. It's still down in there. That's that thing you do when everybody's asleep and you get up an hour early and you're painting or you're writing or you're drawing or you're knitting, or that thing that relaxes you. That's a part of your gifting. Sure, you got bills to pay, you got groceries to cook, and you got a house to clean and laundry to fold, and I do the same thing. I write, work on my business and record, then I fold a load of laundry, we all have that. But there is the timing of it too. Right. So even though you're over 40, I think you're probably more wise and more focused older. I know when I was in college, when we would see the older ladies, we thought they was old. We was in our 20s. Right. Probably wasn't but about 50. Exactly. But we thought, oh, they old. But when the older ladies talk about, well, I'm just a grandmother, 80 years old. I thought I would keep my mind sharp. All of us would go, oh, Lord, she getting ready to blow the curve. Because they would get 98, 100 on the test, and they would blow. We wouldn't have no room for error, because when we saw them, we knew that they were focused and driven. I don't care if they were just auditing the class. They gave it 100%. So maybe when you're 40 and over, that's when you can give yourself all to it and not half in, half out, these pressures, these issues. So going back, get that notebook out, get that vision board out, just hide in your closet, in the back of the closet, and say, all right, so what do I love? I'm at the point where I'm almost time for retirement. I've got like 5 years to go. I got, what I call it, the 3 to 5 year, go hard in the paint plan. Yeah. What would you really like to spend your life doing? When you got a pension check and a 401k and all that, you got all that on lock, your house is paid for, and you don't have that benefit and that luxury until y'all older. So young folks don't have that luxury. You do. Thank the Lord. So what do you really want to spend your life doing? Now, I saw what I'm doing now at 8 years old. You can imagine. A lot happened when I was 8. But when I was 8 years old, I saw it. I used to, like kids, little girls was playing with dolls and all that. I was imagining businesses. I had corporate sponsors. I was singing. I had a choir. I had a bus. They flew us. They drove us. Who does that at 8 years old? But now I see, boom, full circle. That thing that God planned and intended for my life is come full circle. Now I got an accounting degree. I'm not an accountant. I have, I've done a whole lot of things that I have degrees in that I don't even do now. But it's all works good because having an accountant.
You need to count that money. So
hey, being a librarian, I'm not a librarian now, but books.
You need a catalog. You need to catalog your books and your catalog your music. Hey.
So none of it was wasted. None of it's wasted. So I tell you that your gifts, your skills, your talents, the natural abilities, and then the things you learn and pick up along the way, nothing's wasted. Nothing's lost. All lessons learned, disappointments, hurt feelings, is all going to get you. Because as you get older, okay, I'm 56 now. As I've gotten older, I'm like, okay, this is what I do want to spend my time doing. This is what I don't want to spend my time doing. This is who I want to hang out with. Here's who I want to call once a year and say, Merry Christmas, how you doing? You doing all right, girl? You still alive? Okay, bye. I'll see you next Christmas. Because, it doesn't work in my I don't have to talk to you every single day and
every day. Yeah.
I just do that. So being more focused and driven, to me, is what the advantages of being older. Because your time is short. So therefore, you don't have time to waste. You don't have time to foolishness. You don't have time delays and all that. It is or it ain't. The old folks say it is or
It is.
$2 or 5. Which one is it? Let's get it done.
Right.
You know, so it's never too late as long as you have breath in your body, you have a good mind, energy, strength, wisdom, courage to do it. I say go for it. We can stay here all day and talk about all the actors who didn't get their first major movie until they were over 55 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I
or even the people that started businesses after 40
became millionaires and had an idea that thing been brewing for years.
Yeah.
And boom, got up. It looks like it's overnight, but sometimes to, you know, that old adage, we still know wine before it's time. So sometimes we don't get fine as wine before
it's time.
We don't get to our fullest extent. So, and then the next thing, I know we've been talking about thinking about being a queen. Fix your crown. Like, so it's back to that plan B, being gifted, but being focused. I think we waste a lot of time comparing ourselves, because the Bible tells us, you know, if we compare ourselves to others, that's just not wise. We just shouldn't compare ourselves to other people. You know, and I know
I think either comparing ourselves to other people or listening to other people that did not get the message that God gave us.
Exactly. And so you looking on the side going, am I keeping up? Am I good enough? That whole thing of, you know, and then looking at your sister's competition rather than, oh, go girl, you do your thing. You know,
well, what can I learn from you?
Exactly.
What can I learn from you? What can you teach me?
Work together. Oh my Lord. Especially if we do the same thing, or if we don't do the same thing.
Right.
What can we do to complement each other? And sometimes that works. And I'm gonna be honest, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it don't.
Let's say you can't make grown folks do nothing. You can't make them. You put the olive branch out there, extend the opportunity, and keep moving. But this is a problem I have. You cannot put everybody in that same basket. You can't say all women don't work together, because that's not true.
Yes.
You can't say this race or ethnicity does this. You can't say all these people of sexual orientation do that. No, you don't know everybody. There's 8 billion people on the planet. You don't know everybody.
Exactly.
So you cannot. You got to vet them. Yes, you got to ask them. Yes, you need a contract. Yes, you need to know what procedures are. You need a receipt. You need all of that. But you cannot put everybody in a basket. You can't say all certain people are a certain thing. So, you know,
and you can't judge all your experiences based on that one experience. You have to take each experience as it comes. And if you end up being fearful of making those connections or reaching out, you may end up missing out. You know, if you remain in that fear state.
And you know, and I realize everybody, it's like anything else. You know, it's like getting a cut on your finger. You don't use that finger for a while because it's kind of sore. I get that. I'm on, but I don't cut off my finger just because I get a cut on it. I put the Band-Aid on and put the ointment on, and I let it heal, and then we're going back in and use that finger again. I'm not getting ready to cut everything off. So, especially when God has given you a vision of a thing, they might not have been the right person at that particular time. Right. But take, you know, it's like the old folks say, eat the meat and spit out the bones. Figure out what's working for you and what part of that is good. And sometimes the disappointing or you learn more from them. You learn something that you never want to happen again. So therefore, it's a learning experience. No matter what, you know, I feel like all experiences are lessons, whether there's, you know, it's a good lesson or a bad lesson, whatever that was. It hurt my feelings less. It was still a learning experience. But it's it's not to stop you. That's what the enemy wants you to do, is just be stopped. And I'm not doing that again. I don't want to work with, it's to stop you, because that gift can come against his kingdom and tear it down if it's put in the right place in the right hands to do the right thing, to bring knowledge to bring exposure to a specific issue, to save much people alive, as Queen did, and Queen Esther did in the Bible. So therefore, it's to stop you at point A when you need to get to point H, but you won't go through B, C, you know, D, E, and F and
get there
because I'm not getting that. Well, but the blessing don't happen to H, okay? The miracle's not happen to H. So you can't stop at A until, you know what I mean? You know, it seems logical, but you don't know everything. Only God knows everything. So you have to just, you have to keep moving and keep stepping.
Yes.
You know, you have to say, all right, every day, you got to put that crown on and say, all right, God, you've given us another day. Our feet's on the floor. We're not 6 feet underground. We're breathing. You know, as you get older, come on, 40 and plus, stuff aches that didn't never ache before. What? That's got what? What? That knee does something that shoulder didn't. What? Oh, wait a minute. I need 2 Tylenol, and it's not 8 o'clock yet. I mean,
okay.
but that's the, you know, that's whatever. And your ankle's doing stuff, and you say, you know, them 3-inch, 4-inch heels I was wearing at 18.
Not working.
Revenge.
Yeah.
Baby, they will come and get all my knees and my thighs and my back and my, okay,
yes,
to be cute, they come back to get you. The queen, fix your crown. Say, okay, get that crown out and say, we
straighten it out.
Straighten it out.
Keep it moving.
Go for it another day. Come on, let's get up. Let's get moving. Let's determine what we're going to do and how we're going to do our lives one more day. I mean, and we can do it. I mean, it's amazing what happens if you don't stop, if you just don't.
Keep moving.
Keep moving. I mean, you won't get there and you're like, and some things have happened, some things that have been prophesied like 2 or 3 years ago. At that time, it was so big, I said, okay, man, this is the job for Jesus. Okay, I can't even put my mind around it, because if something comes to me, I'll start, you know, I was always told you start moving toward it. But that thing was so big, I said, you know what? I'm going to leave that over there with you. I'm going to keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Only you are going to open up that door. Now, 3 years later, that door has been opened. The contract came directly to me and sat in my lap. And I'm like, oh, but what if I had stopped?
Exactly.
I had to do something then. That wasn't my part, because that wasn't that came from God. So that's his job to do. My job was to keep moving. So that's what I say to you. 1, you have a gift. 2, go and get what you initially, you know, down in your heart. That's the thing you love. That thing that you would do even if they didn't pay you. Now, I don't suggest that. But put a price on it. If you need
to find out what it is.
Show you rush it, I'll give you a number. Let's start somewhere. And then 3, queen, fix your crown. You are a queen. You're the queen of your area, your house, your life, especially your life. Don't let anybody tell that you're not. And sometimes you have to get a picture of a crown and put it up on your mirror and tell yourself. Even if you need to do these replays again and say, let me play that one over again with Jacqueline, show you over and over again. To tell yourself, because that self-talk is really critical, because sometimes other people may just say, okay, because they love you, but they don't really understand the full vision. They didn't see it. God didn't give it to them, but they love it. Exactly. They just walking along. Okay, we walking. Okay, we walk. She's stopping. Okay, so we stopping. So we running. All right, we running. You know, they didn't get it. They don't see it. Not with that eyes that's on your head, but that inner eye. They don't see it. Right. Like so, I mean, but keep moving and know that you're a queen. So get that plan B out, get that notebook out. Let's go. Let's say, okay, God, I need you to open the door. Pray every day. I'm like Steve Harvey. You need God for this journey here. You need God. You need to pray and say, all right, where am I at? Who do I need to talk to? Bring them to my plan. Let me be ready and do some things. You know, my last thing, and I'm going to shut up.
No, you good.
Is that sometimes you need to, even if you don't implement some things, start thinking about what would happen if, okay, so I have esthetician. She does my eyebrows and stuff. And I told her probably 3 years ago, I said, what would you do if somebody walked into your salon or your business with a Black American Express? It's not the money. They don't have that. They got the money. And they said, we got a wedding on this such and such a date. You got it open. And we've got 12 bridesmaids. We've got the mothers of the bride. We got the aunties, and they all need to be waxed. They all need their hair done. They all need makeup done. What would you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl, I didn't say it has happened.
Thank you.
Said, what if it can't? Do you have friends? Do you have other people that you think you could contract with? And do you know people? Even if you don't know them now, ask God to bring them in your sphere so that when that opportunity comes along, you will be ready for it and say, yeah, and call them 4 or 5 friends and say, all right, we got a big deal going down. How much? Let's roll. You've opened this date and move it on. But sometimes think outside the box. If money wasn't on, oh girl, I don't have the money. Well, what if the money's not?
I didn't ask you that part.
Somebody else is funding it, right? Somebody else is funding it. Can you see?
Yeah.
You know, I went to Beth Moore one time, and to hear her speak at Rupp Arena at UK, and it was just incredible in Lexington. And she had 8 cashiers, and I stood there and just tables and tables of resources. Now I've written 55 books, but she's done tables and to thousands of materials. And I stood there literally, and I said, do I have 8 friends that I trust to be on 8 cash registers?
Wow.
If I had an opportunity, do I know people? Because I can duplicate that much material. I believe that. Over years, I can write it and have it packaged and everything. But do I know 8 people or a company or something that I could trust to be on cash registers, to take the money and not steal from me? That's what a critical thing. But I had to be able to see myself. What if God allowed me? So what does that look like?
Yes.
What will that be like? What could that be like? And I've written out a plan for it. I wrote down my 8 people. I said where we would be and how and I found out from my Square and my PayPal how I could do it, and I've written it all out. So I'm prepared for it.
Right.
Now I'll still be like, oh my God, Jacqueline, you know, you know, I'll still be spreading that. But it's can you see yourself?
Put the plans in place. Yes. Have that vision. That vision, yes.
Yes.
Write the vision and make it plain.
I mean, right now I've got 2 events on the same day. And I said, no, I need to be in both places. I cannot just be in one and cancel the other. So therefore, I have to have a team that's going to be in place number 2 while I'm in number 1. Because I'm like, no, it's that date. I must be at both places. So therefore, I have to have been building a team. Fortunately, now my husband is retired, so he can lead that second team while I'm you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I had to see that at first. Otherwise, oh no, we can only do one thing at a time. But I want to be able to take care of 2 territories at one time. And I'll still be able to get to the other one or whatever. But it's the whole point of, can you see that big? Can you visualize that? Even if
in your mind's eye, can you see it in your mind's eye?
Your mind's eye. And even if you can't, go find somebody who does. That's where watching somebody else is important.
Absolutely.
Being able to see your coach or being able to see somebody on the big scale who's done it. What if that happened to me? Because God is no respecter of persons. So if he did it for one, he can do it for you. So therefore, what does that look like? Go find a vision of that and go sit and look at it. Go learn. Go to school at somebody else's event. Go to school at somebody else's webinar. Go to school at somebody else's book release and see what they're
so learn everything.
Come on.
Constantly. Come on. Yeah.
Right? You gifted. You do. There is a plan for your life. God told us that. He had a plan.
Amen.
And you're a queen. So let's go.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's get it. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
No, you're good. Julia. Oh my goodness. Oh, please, you do not have to shut up. And definitely, we definitely gonna have to have more of these kitchen visits. I tell you what. Oh, we are fortunately, because God is just doing some amazing things. And I am just so grateful for what he's doing in our lives. So we're actually in between kitchens at the moment. So we are traveling, we are journeying on to our new assignment, our new location. And so I just thank you so very much for coming to hang out in this temporary kitchen, if you will, while we make this transition in this journey. But definitely this will not be the last conversation we have. But again, thank you so very much for coming to hang out in the kitchen. I appreciate you. And just before we go, sisters, remember, nothing changes unless you do. Stay safe, be well, and be blessed. Bye now.